You hear about this shooting in Texas or in
Yeah,
Tennessee,
by
right?
a mentally
Nashville?
deranged person who thought she was a he. And was, yeah.
Wow. Major transphobia coming through here.
Third shooting by someone who identified as trans, and we won't even talk about it, but there was definitely mental illness there. And she targeted,
The vilification.
he or she targeted Christians, and actually in the manifesto targeted people like me because she was angry at people like me.
I'd be angry at people like you too.
Do you think
if
that
I'd been constantly
justifies
oppressed for
shooting
years.
me and shooting my children?
No, that's
no,
that's
because we
absolutely not
value
what I said.
human life.
Yeah,
Even though
but
we may
that's not what I
disagree,
said.
your
What
life
I'm
has value.
What I'm saying is that it's terrible what the person did.
Absolutely, it's terrible.
But you could never understand what trans people go through, being constantly vilified and denied the right to exist, to simply be. I don't understand why you say you're pro-life, but then are doing these things that I know you know, because you seem like a smart woman. I know you know the things you say about trans people lead to harm and hurt physically.
No, I
towards
actually
trans
believe
people.
you have to, when you love people and you respect people, you need to tell them the truth. If my
Girl.
friend came to me today and
Come
said,
on.
my limb isn't my limb, I don't want to have an arm, I identify as a one-armed person, please find me a surgeon. This is a actual mental illness that many people in our country suffer from. There was a whole TLC show about it. And if a friend of mine said, I need my arm cut off because this is a foreign substance to me, this is killing me, I'm suicidal because no one will remove my arm because there's no medical reason.
So
And
you
I would
want to
say,
block them from taking
I would certainly
the treatment,
not say,
the treatment
let's go chop up your arm.
The treatment for gender dysphoria, which is the mental
Wait,
illness you're referring to, not
is to
being
make people
trans,
infertile
and
to not treat what's happening in their mind.
Gender affirming surgery is treating.
You'd have to be here on the whole
That's
conversation.
what I'm saying. I'm talking about you're talking about pro-life.
No.
Meanwhile, you are
I think it's very much
like the violence that you're calling for
anti-pro-life
it.
to take a child who's confused and is trying to sort
Yeah, I
out
brought
their
it up
gender
because
identity.
I want to prove that she's
and
not pro-life.
To go
She's
take them to
pro
Planned
fucking
Parenthood,
unborn baby.
the nation's largest abortion vendor, who also
They're
now
not two different
is the
issues.
nation's
I'm sorry.
largest distributor.
They're not two different issues. Being pro-life, you have to be
listen to me.
pro-all life. You have to be pro-trans. You have to be pro-black people. When was the
Absolutely,
last time you did
trans
anything
people,
to protect
every
black
human
women?
being has a right to live. Absolutely. No one in the pro-life movement says that people who are black or Latina or trans or gay or whatever you identify don't have the right to live. Absolutely, you have the right
So
to
then
live.
why are
But
you-
I don't think our children, my school-age children, should be able to go to Planned Parenthood and without even a mental health assessment get drugs that will render them infertile for the rest of their life.
That is
which is
not
what
at
Planned
all how
Parenthood's
that
doing.
works.
That's
That is
absolutely
not at all how that works.
what's happening.
When you're under 18, no matter what the medical procedure
actually,
is,
no, sir, you are wrong. I do this for a freaking living. Don't you think I know what happens inside Planned Parenthood? I've been into probably 25 Planned Parenthoods. How many Planned Parenthoods have you been inside?
0. But
There you
I
go.
know that when you are under 18, you're not an adult. You can't do those things by yourself.
No, you
need parental
absolutely
consent.
can. You absolutely can. There's many laws now our state legislatures, Democratic-run state legislators, are passing. I don't think that that's pro-life to render someone who's gender confused as a minor. If you're an adult, I don't really care. But as a minor, to render them infertile, I think that's wrong. And actually goes to the founding of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood's founder, Margaret Sanger, was a eugenicist. You can Google that, who actually believed my family, who had immigrated to New York City in the 1910s, that my Irish family shouldn't have a right to reproduce, and that other stocks and breeds, in her quotes, shouldn't have a right to reproduce because she felt like they were harming society. That's how Planned Parenthood was actually founded. Planned Parenthood actually was not founded to be an abortion agency, the leading abortionist in the country. They were founded to promote positive and negative eugenics, to stop certain people from breeding, which is exactly what wrong sex hormone treatment therapy is doing in our country today.